All right.
How's it going, y'all? It hit me. Maybe this will be next. I have a couple poems to share tonight. This first one is called If. If my words had been my hands, you would have held them from the first. You would have held them as you'd have held milky white pearls warmed by your touch, as you'd have held a day-old bird that filled you with delight, as you'd hold light, knowing you were no longer alone in the dark. But my words are not my hands, so my hands you left untouched. And meanwhile, you swam in my words and drunk them in until intoxicated. If my words were my body, your hands would have run all over me like wine, as your words certainly ran all over mine. But you put your hands in another's, and left mine holding clouds that won't even rain, like idly passing weather. Thank you. The second poem is called Alchemize. How much alchemy does it take to transmute away pain? How many poems are required? How many syllables must I utter, and how many times must I intone them? It still lives here, stuck beneath my breastbone like yesterday's now congealed oatmeal, and I don't have enough milk to fully wash it down, flush it away into the bowels of past days. Must I irritate it with more friction till it catches fire? But then the taste of ashen memories lingers with me, graying my days. Maybe volume is the ticket rather than repetition, so I can be fully convinced that my voice was indeed heard by someone outside my walls, or until I exhaust myself raging and grieving to be finally alchemized to peace.
Thank you so much, Erin. That was beautiful. You had so much power and passion always behind your voice, so thank you for sharing. Next, we're going to hear from Bruce Hall, who's zooming in. If Bruce is with us, which I don't see him. That's part of the lineup, so we may have to call him later. Kathy, do you see Bruce on Zoom there?
No.
Yeah, well, he pops in later, we'll definitely get him.
We'll add him on there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Got the list going around here.
Kathy, if you don't mind, you just check in with Becca, because I'm not sure, she may have wanted to make something.
All right, cool. Next, we're going to hear from me and Caton, who just celebrated a birthday, actually. Celebrated.
How old?
We are so excited.
I'm gonna read another poem too, if that was really good. I really like that. Tonight, this piece is called Nightgown. I'm gonna read two pieces. The grief my mother wears is like a nightgown that she doesn't take off, just throws her old house dress over and goes about her day. Or slips into a pair of jeans with muddy garden boots and tucks it into her waist, the nightgown bunching up and uncomfortable. She holds on to it with equal measures, pride and shame, and wears a sweater over it when she is cold, or hems it when it gets too frayed, the patchwork and stitching discolored, but hidden away. She only shows it to those she loves, so they too can manage the upkeep it deserves. Or it's like a convertible brassiere, silk and lace that she can remove with a button and cotton padding to protect from leakage. The milk contained to feed my baby brother from her pink nipple. This grief is mother's milk too, as her own mother, now a ghost since she was in her early 20s, just after marrying my father, substituting grief for rage and white wine spiked with gin. It's flannel and it's warm, comfortable. This nightgown, she sleeps with it, lifts it to relieve herself from miscarriage or abortion, an afterthought, but never a divorce. This one's called Wash Rag. Wash can I get a microphone? Can I get volume? Oh. Warm water. Oh, warm water. Oh, warm water. And white porcelain. Oh, warm water. Oh, I remember a soap dish pressed into the tile work. Warm water, silver handle. Warm water, silver handle. Oh, warm water and white porcelain. Oh, and it's pressed. Oh, it's pressed. It's pressed. It's pressed into that tile work. The warm water and subway tiles. Warm water, subway tiles, and you. Warm water. Oh, warm water. Oh, with bubbles. Warm water with bubbles, and you. Oh, I remember that brown wash rag, maroon warm wash rag with soapy water. The taste of soapy water put over my face, covered over my face. Oh, and the orange plastic drink cup filled with warm water and poured over my head. Shampoo washing out into the bathtub. The white porcelain, white subway tiles, and green soap. A bar of green soap and silver handle. Oh, soup soap dish pressed into the white tiles and pulling, porcelain crackling, little pieces crackling out. Oh, they crack and they flake and they fall. Oh, the warm water, the soapy water, warm water with bubbles and white porcelain flakes. Oh, I remember the plaid pattern on the maroon washcloth. Oh, draped over your breasts, mother. Oh, you pour the warm water over my head. Rinse the shampoo off out of my hair into the tub with warm water. Warm soapy water and you. Dark forest coat. The washcloth covers your breasts and the dark forest of hairs. Oh, in the water, the soapy warm water. And I'm just a baby, a 5-year-old baby. I'm just a 6-year-old baby. I'm just a baby. Oh, the warm wash, white porcelain subway tiles. Oh, warm water and washcloth. Oh, washcloth covers you. The soapy water in the washcloth. That taste of soapy water, mother. I remember. Oh, I remember. Oh, how you would help me clean my ears. Your fingers with the washcloth. It pokes into my ears and around my ears. And soapy water poured over my head. The shampoo washing off into the tub. Oh, into the tub. Oh, the white porcelain. Oh, the subway tiles. Oh, and the orange plastic drinking cup filled with warm water. Oh, and then poured over me. Oh, washing me clean. Oh, washing me clean. Oh, warm water. Oh, warm water. Warm water with bubbles. Warm water, bubble bath. Oh, take me back, warm water. Take to curiosity. Warm water, oh, warm water, take me back to my youth. Oh, take me back, warm water, take me back to my youth. Take me back to safety, warm water, take me back when I was clean. Oh, I am still that little boy, warm water. I am still that same creative, joyous little boy. I am still that same creative little boy with lots of energy. Oh, I am still that little boy who likes to climb. Oh, I am still that same little boy with the heart of an adventurer. Oh, take me back. Take me back. Oh, warm water. You fill me with your spongy bubbles. Oh, you fill me with your tub. Oh, with your clean white porcelain and your subway tiles. Oh, warm water. Take me back. Take me back to my youth. Take me back to my health where I could run free of pain. Knees pumping, climbing, bending, running. Oh, celebration! Oh, soapy water, take me back, take me back. Oh, soapy water with bubbles, bubble baths in warm water, white porcelain, warm water. Oh, thank you.
Wow, Ian, I've never seen something like that ever in my life. Thank you for that. Thanks for experimenting and bringing that. That was really cool.
I think it's the room brings out.
There we go. Man. Next, we're going to hear from Elias. Elias. Elias.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool, welcome. It's Elias' first time.
Okay, I'm going to be reading 2 poems. Okay, this first one is called Wrinkles. I have a dirty, dirty confession. I don't understand doors. The way they are put up, and the way they simply provide passages from one area to another, filling an empty space. The way that they can be pushed or pulled, or sometimes miraculously both. The concept that you knock before coming in, a concept few seem to realize. But every once in a while, I get it. I get it, and I place my leathery hands on the frame of the door and pull myself through, my fingertips unseen in the dark. My wide eyes illuminate the room in front of me like a lighthouse peering into the ocean. The spiders crawl from the wrinkles in my face, made from smiling for too much time, finally ready to come out after hiding for oh so long. My inhuman shoes make creaks in the floor, and thousands of legs scamper about, tickling me, feather-like toes exhaling upon my skin. My body is within the room, and I see it. I witness someone resting in their bed, and I creep towards them. I can see that the breathing of a sleeping man has not less than yet, and I conceive my shadows. My presence being known to the someone, I conquer my unknowing, my presence being teacup hands caressing a lie. I look at the person asleep, their eyes squeezed tight in an attempt to relinquish me from their thoughts, and I tell him to open them. And this one is called To the Moon and Back, I muttered to myself. The moon is the only natural satellite of Earth, floating in a gravitational pull 238,856 miles away. I want my heart to flutter up there, make her way around the rock's surface, and dance its way back to me. I want my heart to be a feminine boomerang, swinging to return as it curves slightly to just sweep past the moon's horizon. I want our hearts to meet up there. I want our hearts to kiss. I want to feel our hearts get confused and mixed up, spending a little extra time up there, because that's what I mean when I say to the moon and back.
Thank you so much, Elias. I hope you return. Those are beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
Next, we're gonna hear from Cliff Wilson. Cliff, welcome.
Okay, so there's something I would like to try to explain. It's not that hard. Before I start this, it's kind of important, but my name is Clifford John Wilson, and this is called the microphone, and that's called a table, and this is called the cave. But what do you call a place that has no name? What do you call a person that has no name? But the place where I live, I can tell you that it's on Bridge Creek Trail, and you can tell me, well, which one of the 19 miles were. And but where I live, I could say, well, I live, just west of Hazelbell Avenue, at that little horse ranch. Some of you might actually say, oh, I love those horses. But I've been living there 20 years, and that place between those two ridges between I-5 and Fruit Valley Road, it has no name. There's no name to it. I've been living there 20 years, and every day all summer long, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the heat rising up in the city pulls the wind up that valley, and it rushes up the hill right behind my house. It makes the curtains billow in my living room. But the poetry of that place does speak a language, and its name is Cold Canyon, and come and visit sometime. So I wish I had great voices like some of the other people here. Anyway, so this is called Beautiful Illusion. And by the way, this is a poem that anyone can write. It's just fill in the blanks. So, Beautiful Illusions. The consolations of philosophy. The periodic table of the elements. Emmylou Harris's haunting yoga. Being done with the laundry. Blanks are 82% Congo chocolate. Intoxication on anything from opium to binge watching. That cat purring in your lap. The Buddha's smile. The one that didn't get away. The cigarette afterwards. That breath when you finally accept that it's over. Laughing until you cry. The touch of gray, leaves of grass, into the night, the Dead Poets Society. The weekend in Barcelona. Sand between your toes, a cool egg in your palm, or the moment after a big sneeze. Raphael's Madonnas, Monet's water lilies, Charles Birchfield's cicadas, and Heinrich Kaufmann's Christ at 33. Andrea Bocelli. Miles Davis, a place that comes here to be a Rancho. The Opus 111, where Beethoven set everything. 2 3-year-olds blowing on one straw. 7 splashing sparrows in a little flowing fountain. The Milky Way, the northern lights when you least expect them. The full moon rising over Bryce Canyon after everyone else has left. A blanket of fog over a cold canyon morning. Candles and incense, top of the world, one day longer.
Thank you so much, Cliff. It sounds beautiful. Next, we're going to hear from Brittany Braswell. I'm so excited to welcome you up.
again. Thank you.
Excuse me. That was not-
What are we, like 4 or 5 poets in? I haven't smiled this big in so long. I'm so happy to be here. The old faces, the new faces. This poem is called Dear Woman. Dear woman, you are brave when you get out of bed every morning. Take a hot shower, wash away the parts of you from the day, sometimes days before, that you don't want to admit that are there. Dry your body with a towel you washed, fold it, then tuck neatly into your cabinet. You are brave as you run the blow dryer through your hair, making sure no strand is left there. Grab your curling iron, meticulously curl pieces of your hair, then tie it up because you do not like the way it came out. You are brave as you get out your makeup bag, search for the foundation matched perfectly to your beautiful skin tone, smear a perfect layer over your face to hide what you call imperfections. As you pull out your giant brush, dip it into your powder and cover your face, giving your foundation that matte finish. Then take your smaller brush, dip it in that rosy pink, then paint your cheekbones to give them some color and attempt to hide just how colorful you're feeling. As you pick the sparkly eyeshadow and carefully color your eyelids, then, as a final touch, you color your lips red. You are brave. As you try on 7 different outfits, then 6 pairs of shoes, you settle on the 5th outfit and the 3rd pair of shoes. But who's counting, right? You are brave when you grab your keys, walk out of the door, get into your car, put the keys in the ignition. You are brave for leaving your house even when you did not want to, for facing the world even when you did not want to. But dear woman, you are brave, even on the days when you cannot get out of bed or bring yourself to take a shower, the days where your beautiful long hair is wrapped tightly in a bun on the top of your head and you keep the lights off because today the lights hurt your eyes. You are brave, even when all you have left is to cry. Brave woman, you deserve to cry. Dear woman, please remember you are brave today, those days, and every day. Dear woman.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, definitely, there's those days, you know what I mean? And it's, you're even more brave when you decide to get up and share any of that, you know what I mean? So it all takes courage, so thank you so much, Brittany. Next, we're gonna hear from Jim Martin, one of our faves. Come on up, Jim. Yes, sir.
What violence? I'm always aware. I have 2 poems. This one. It's a prose poem. It has a little epigraph that hasn't been completely edited yet. It's called What Happens When Words Meet. Have you ever trembled when a word finds itself near another? And you wait and suddenly see a weird change. I suddenly moved from the large view of the macros and micros in the beaches of Lorraine Peninsula up at Belmont. would have to repair damage that was done by a storm. I was doing transepts and 8 transepts around the peninsula, and they were all in good shape. So I came to this one right after the storm. Now it was horrible. It looked like there'd been a war there for centuries. Now, so I knew that the macros that I was collecting would have to lead to a choreography of enzymes trained by the storm, which danced across the Untitled, racing all together and set me off on it. 2 days later, Reid whispers to a tree, flutters to the ground below. Poet's eye, home of peripheral vision, responds to a flicker of light as leaf falls and thought. Eye gives birth to a thought. A question levers the eye to a different perspective, a new point of view, and a perspective point. Eye, thinking, enlarges the world. Release, speak. Eye, moves hand, words stutter across a small page, jot their forms. Eye touches memory, sets in motion a search for other thoughts, memories, a path. Intrigued, eye moves mind, mind begins to write and think. Interesting landmarks talking to you. Bob in this undulating incipient thought. Converge to islands. Small but certain. Eye moves islands, guides and arranges them to point. Now, eye and mind are signs. All the while, sharing feelings, insights, interpretations, moving close to understanding, knowing, becoming the fundamental realities of life and this is one I wrote about 10.5 years ago, and I've read a couple times here. And I was going to read it for the winter solstice. And today I thought, was the winter solstice? Yeah. It might be one. Winter solstice is a short form. Winter solstice. Soft, a blanket of snow comforts here. From the blanket, muffled, the sound of sledding children dances in the distance. Skiers dot the hills powdered snow, a moving bas-relief, dancing their silent tango. The breath of winter caresses the hills, and playful laughter builds a stage upon the pond and invites the skaters to dance. And the snow, breath of winter's spirit, breathes its announcement to all. I, winter, cold, crisp, and joyful. Thank you. Thank you.
Christopher,
Yes,
did you see that, one of the,
I did.
okay.
Yes. So, yes, welcome to John Miller. And John Miller, we're about to introduce our featured reader, and we will introduce you during the second half.
That's terrific, Christopher. Thank you.
You got it. Hey, John, since we're talking, and welcome to the people that just came in. There's a bench that's just on the other side of the black box over here. If you'd like to sit down, you're welcome to stand. Just be aware there's art on the wall. But there are some places where you can sit over here. Right? And I don't know if there's any room on this bench over here, just so people know. It's a beautiful bench. Wasn't that bench built by Bethany Lee, who was the artist last night? So anyway, John, this is all about community, and I was wondering if you could briefly say something about your workshops or whatever it is you have going on right now, and then I'll introduce our featured reader.
I appreciate that, Christopher. Am I coming in clearly enough?
Yes.
I know that my head feels about 10 feet tall right now. Ghost Town folks, I know online folks probably know me a little bit. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you. And thank you to Christopher, and thank you to the venue. I helped to lead a collective in Portland that is now kind of everywhere because everything's on Zoom, called Portland Ars Poetica. We're available on Meetup, where we list all of our events. I'll post the link in the chat, or perhaps one of my friends online will do that for me. We offer generative online salons Tuesdays and Saturdays. We also have a periodic critique session that's once a month on fourth Fridays, and in fact, their next one will be tomorrow, where you can critique the work perhaps that you read tonight. We also have a salon of open discussion called Conversations in the Air. The name I cribbed from a translation of Osip Mandelstam. I think it's a perfect metaphor for the Zoom era. And then we also periodically have a book club. Our next book that we're reading is called A Poet's Craft by Lucy Newlin. It's a book of craft that is a book of poems, in fact. And Becca is actually showing the cover on the screen. So all of our events are listed on Meetup. Link is in the chat. Just look for Portland Ars Poetica on Meetup. Thank you again, Christopher.
Yeah, you got it. So in case you're wondering why I would interrupt the proceedings for something like this, it's because, you know, I remember when I was new to poetry and how it felt like there was all this information and all these people who knew all these things who were just on the side of this other invisible wall. So for me, one of the things that's great about open mics is that they're a place for people to share information. So I want you to know if you have a book coming out, if you have an open mic that you're hosting, if you have something that's community oriented that you just want us to know about because it's cool. I ask people to make their own announcements because I make a fair amount of announcements. And I also, from the mic, and I also have a monthly poetry newsletter. We have a lot of new people here, that's why I mentioned it. printedmattervancouver@gmail.com is how you get that once a month newsletter that will tell you about events in Portland and Vancouver. I know that sometimes it's hard to figure out what's going on. And then with everybody staying at home for a few years, sometimes it got weirder in terms of just trying to figure out what's happening right now. So anyway, I'm still providing this service of helping people find things in Portland, Vancouver, and thereabouts. And I would be happy to add you to that list because I create. And I was thinking before I got up here that Bethany Lee being here is very connected to this concept of Ghost Town as a place to find and nurture community, because I know about Bethany's existence because of Joanne Boswell, a previous feature and a regular at Ghost Town. And I think that Joanne knows about Ghost Town because of Erin Aurelia, who some of you know and who has been a regular, and then went away and came back and can be a regular again if she shows up, you know what I mean? So word of mouth, you don't get to do something for 15 years unless you have word of mouth. And so it's how we learn, it's how we find out about the cool stuff that's going on. So I thank you all for being here. And now I'm going to tell you about our guest, our featured reader, Bethany Lee. She's the author of The Breath Between, An Invitation to Mystery and Joy, an Etude for Belonging, Poems for Practicing Courage and Hope, both of which are from Fernwood Press and both of which are for sale after her reading. She lives in Lafayette, Oregon, in a house at the edge of the woods. Her writing is often inspired by the space at the edge of things. Her experiences as a hospice harpist, the years she spent traveling by sea, and the deep silence of her Quaker practice, and we are very happy to have her here with us. Please welcome, once I wipe things off, Bethany Lee. Thank you, Bethany.
Woohoo!
Dad.
Excited to be with you tonight in person. I have been zooming in. If you don't know where Lafayette is, that's because it's a ways away, about an hour southwest of Portland. So I've been so happy to be able to zoom in during the pandemic and now to be able to be here in person is a real treat. These gatherings always feel a little like a fire, like a campfire. And it might be a Zoom screen today, a light instead of an actual campfire. But I thought you might not mind a little campfire story. Once before the forgetting. After the divine wars, everything got split up. Water, heaven, and the underworld. And the gods were sent or retreated to their places. Everyone claimed they got heaven. Those in the water sang bubbly songs. We are the celestial ones you see, for what is heaven without to see? The underworld ate turnips and rutabagas and farted ruthlessly, and only a few withdrew to uncontaminated dens and wondered if there might not be something more. The ones who were cast to the actual heavens doubted the most, for doubt rises like heat, you know, it's hot in the clouds, dangles from the harp strings. Is this it? And more to the point, is everyone else wrong? And they heard the ones in the water splashing around, and they held their hands under each other's feet to feel again the sensation of ground. Some of the water people were the first to go. Why can't we swim out of the ocean? And they wandered the land for many years, slapping around with their rent toes as fingers from the underworld reached up and tripped them. Somehow they found the endurance to stay supple enough to be alive. And after there were beings above the ground but under the sky, a few of the heavenly ones migrated too, pulling each other down by the ankles, until they stood in the grass, which tickled like a mother, but felt really, really. And eventually, there were earthen ones who came blinking into the light, and in the places where they dug themselves out, the sea people dropped buckets of water and made lakes. And those from the heavens pulled down wisps of fog to play with in the morning light, and everyone sat looking at each other in wonder and laughing in delight at each other's footprints. Some sailed away eating yams and strumming the harp battery while floating over the waves, but most wouldn't give up their disconnection. Many gods never believed in February is the longest month, right? And so I thought it was only fitting that I read some poems about death, because that just is how it sometimes feels these days. This one's from my first book, The Breath Between, and it's called As Long as a Life. Sometimes I go to the abbey near my house in search of sacred space and silence. In the air are dust motes, dragonflies, and sun prayer. At the edge of the pond, at the foot of the hill, there is a quiet room. A wall of windows at one end, cushions and kneeling benches, and a wheat bread on the floor. From my seat, I can see a row of tiny white crosses near the monk's quarters, and a stand of old trees, evergreen, collected. Each moment, I choose where to turn my gaze. As long as a life, within sight of one's end, colors the present vividly, fosters hope and not despair. Keep your eyes on the grave. But if the nearness of death stokes fear and spins a frantic striving. Look away for a time. Sit as people beneath the cedars. Learn the long race of those who rise, live so freely in one place, and then fall. Who even after death release their essence, nourish so well in their knowing God. This is called After the Burning. And the epigraph is from Stephen J. Pine. Cake lilies lie dormant until flames brush away their covering, then blossom almost overnight. Fireweed seed lies in litter and soil until liberated by a deep burn. We never find out what they were called, Job's 10 lost children. All we get are some of the names of the replacement set in a rare moment in history when the girls are acknowledged and the men are anonymous. Jemima, Zaya, Erin Aurelia. It is said they were very beautiful, as if that makes it okay the others were still dead. And what if that I cannot bear to name, the loss I cannot relinquish? I refuse to set it down, must not let it rest, or I may be faced with who I have become now that I am mostly whole. How can I carry on into a land where there is not even a scrap of what would have been to comfort me? It is a cold journey through that desert to where I may someday dwell, and many nights I return back if I was not with each step setting the land aflame. That day in the church, I was given the choice to attend to the loss and turn toward joy. Having had enough of pain's company, I chose to look joy straight in the face, and in that moment, every feature is the twin of grace. I think I finally understand why they free climb out of Caton, why the base jumpers throw themselves from the brink. There at the edge are grief and joy together. There in the falling is being alive and living. This one felt like it wanted to be paired with that one. It's called Daily Offering. If all of it is burning in the kindled flame of life, and time itself is blazing, futures but fuel to yesterday's ash, if it's all going up in smoke, today's tasks remaining not a cosmic moment more or less than redwoods, cathedrals, constellations, all I can do is decide what to feed the fire. Choose my incense wisely. Burn you. Up before rush hour, I got to spend the afternoon with Joe and her kids, and one of them asked, "Have you written any poems about dragons? Because I can draw dragons really well, and maybe you can write a poem about dragons, and I can draw them." And I said, "You know, I'm actually sharing a poem with a dragon here tonight." I did not bring an illustration, apparently that's still yet to come. Come the glorious undoing. The Book of Common Prayer says, "We have left undone those things which we ought to have done, and we have done those things which we ought not to have done." This is the morning prayer of general confession, a very common prayer indeed, to rue and to doubt one's action and stillness. What if I have left undone the very things I would have regretted? And what if I have chosen the glorious undoing, the inevitable, unavoidable, inescapable yes? It once seemed a decision. Leave home or stay, wander far, return or stay away. Yet from this ridgetop I see a single way, what seems from here to be the only path between the peaks. I am only psychic in hindsight, cartographer of memory, sketching the voyage so simply in reflection, excusing unvisited continents with the fear of dragons. Yet how can I lament this course if I am led again and after that again, always back into my eggshell skin? It's not too late to send the spirit wandering, to leap and trust the wind to catch and carry. It is never too late to learn the dragon's wings. I'm glad John spoke a little bit about Portland Ars Politica. I am reading a piece or two from the new anthology called Opening the Gate. It was put together by a number of people who have written at Portland Ars Politica. Ben Rich. Unqualified goddess. If I had the power to shift the day of your death, the world would be full of Lafayette sages, and the tulips would still be blooming in December, heavy under the weight of the snow-filled cups, the stems bent and twisted as if in the grasp of a child who wouldn't let it. Time would stop at twilight. Whatever the day had been, the joy, the pain, all of it would freeze as I recall the power, and dawn would never come again. I cannot be trusted to decide on the proper moment for immutability. I fear and welcome the monster of change, what it gives and what it devours. I cannot be trusted with an enormous choice. Still, I have held death in my arms, stumbled, and learning to walk, carrying it side by side with beauty. I don't think I wanted to admit they are not just companions, conjoined, not packaged together, but collaborators, inseparable. You cannot collect only the joy, or you will buckle under the weight you will not. You will feel beside yourself, and it will be true, for you will have thrust from your chest the very thing which binds us together, that which makes and keeps us human. Find within the still place, no matter how small it seems. Reach your arms around it, and you will find it right. There is room here, always, to embrace all that is lost, everything we know. The late summer rain has just begun to fall, ends as quickly as it came, leaving me and the soil gasping for more. Every day root on the drum of life sustains the dance of love and loss, and lament, and loss, and loss. Anthologies were one of my doorways into poetry, because if you don't like something, you just flip the page, and there might be a new discovery. So if you are still trying to find your way in, you can like, there's a key that you are given, that one might be your option. I have two more pieces I want to read for you. One more from my most recent book, Etude for Belonging. And one that's brand new and a little unusual for me. So you get to be the place the experiments happen. I wanted to bring this one specifically for you as poets. I thought we might find something here to enjoy. Been reading a bit about death And this one is a little bit about what might be after. It's called What Awaits. Death isn't the last thing on my bucket list. I have all sorts of intentions for eternity. If I don't get around to it here, I plan to learn to play the cello, to become a half-assed tennis player, nap for a millennium or two. I might dabble in photography and several thousand birdling creeks. I intend to stare at the moon in each of her phases from a hilltop on every planet the moon has flown. A few decades on Jupiter alone. I want to spend a lifetime getting to know you. Every one of you. Take a century or two apiece to practice loving each other well until we really get it down. But no matter what awaits, an eternity spent held in the depths of belonging, a return to the home of the source of love, reincarnation as a giraffe, or a scorpion, or a fruit fly, or a trumpet, or a new life more like this one, with cherry trees and Earl Grey and glaciers and coastlines and curiosity. I hope somehow, past the great curtain of mystery, as the overture ends and the play begins, I hope there's a pen, a quiet place and a blank page. I hope I get to write. One more piece. This one came the other day, and the rhythms in it were so strong. I wanted to remember the way it felt. I wanted to be able to read it again the same way, but I didn't take academic poetry classes, and I thought for just a second, dang, real poets would know how to put the stresses and mark all of that in all the right places. And then I remembered that when I wasn't taking poetry classes, I was taking music classes. And I could probably just write myself a score. So I've been practicing. And we'll see if it comes out. No matter how many books I write, the likelihood of me being remembered in even a century, definitely 2 or 3, very slim. This poem talks a little bit about it's called Disremembering. Let me go easy. Drop me like ice cream. Stick me to your binder and lose me in your locker. Wash me off like watercolor. Spin me on a carousel. Use me up like good vanilla. Leave me out of nothing. Leave me on a subway with a chewing gum. Tip me off a rooftop in a bucket full of bouncy balls. Send me on evenings. Send me through the telescope. Sweep me out the back door of the hair salon on 7th Street. Hand me to the kid crying with me up to the beach. Peel me off the bottom of the Eiffel Tower souvenir. Open me over the trash can. Breathe me into the morning. Toss me with the confetti. This is how I need to be. Much, friends. It's so good to be here with you. I know Christopher will give you instructions about what we get to do during our break. If you want a copy of one of the books, feel free to pick those up here. But I would also love to chat with you if you found any of this inspiring. So,
there aren't a lot of instructions. Kathy just put the lights on, so please feel free to look at the beautiful art that is displayed this month. And of course, we'd like you to buy Bethany's books, which you can do at the desk across from us. Just give Kathy a chance to get over there. Also, if you haven't given a donation and would like to give a donation, it's a $5 suggested donation, but as Morgan mentioned, more is okay. If you're wondering what happens with that money, it's split 3 ways between our featured reader, art educated, and print and matter Vancouver, which is the small press and editing service, writing coaching service that I run with my wife, Tony Braswell, here in Vancouver. And so we break for about 15 minutes. Stretch your legs, get some air, buy some books, and then we'll come back for more open mic. Thanks so much for being here. And thanks to Bethany for a great set.
Oh, absolutely. So I do need to adjust every time I feel like, oh, this is small. 12. He only wrote 2 poems, so he set them both.
That's my life situation. How many times have you?
Or you could just go up and read your poem. Maybe that's how I can get better sleep. You just call me and then you read off your poem. None of it will make any sense to me. He sent me his old physics homework the other night just so that I could have some reading material as I fell asleep. Yeah. At the highest math I somehow got away with was algebra. And that was it. Yeah, and then I took it out of college, so I never wanted to take another. So anyway, yeah, I looked at it and I was like, I wouldn't even know how to go about it starting. I mean, it is a lot of letters, but it's not English. It took more like a visual graphic.
It feels like I always felt like this was really nice. Drawing your images. Get the perfect curl. I saw your black.
Thank you.
Serious?
Yeah, it is serious. So it got a little, I was gonna do more, but it got a little heavy. I needed to
Yeah.
call it. Yeah. Unless, absolutely.
Don't let me catch it.
To be fair, you're also very close to me.
Consolation philosophy.
I think consolation philosophy is that a general term. Yeah, it's a general term. It's not a it's very nowhere. I heard it somewhere. Yeah. I don't know where. I'm saying being consolated by philosophy. And there is a consolation philosophy. Okay, that sounds about right.
Consolation philosophy.
I'll try to find out.
Yeah, I saw it. And cocaine.
Ringing Universal Canyon? Yeah. It shouldn't really be a difficult project, run that by the city council. I think it would be pretty easy to approve. So I'm just gonna push forward. Yeah. That's it. You know,
Where you live.
Yeah.
Always wonder about.
Yeah. And I did read it sometimes, but it's just. I decided to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's music.
Right? Why not?
So.
One of two. Which book was it that happened? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How you doing? Hanging in there. Right, so you look like you look starting to spring, you know, right in the middle. So like, I think it's a ton better. And I was like, what's that? That's the time you gotta play the seats right now. Some of them.
So that one was for Danielle.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Sometimes we want
And us, whoever you choose to be the
Oh,
just seems
yeah.
longer. Some years, like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
seems a little dark.
Yeah, I remember this year, when I first, I did something.
You ever feel that? You kind of realize it's really, it takes you so long.
Oh, I know.
So you're honestly, you're 20 years.
See, I
Yeah. So this is your. And one year away. Yeah. If you look back.
They're really good.
Oh,
That's my point. I was just listening. And so he was basically the same thing.
One of my kids would do something, or somebody would do something. It's like, you try to do.
Oh, you can't hold on to it. It happens. All right, how's it going? Yeah, for me. Just so fast.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what do we want Not relax. Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's great to catch up.
Coming off of it.
So he told me to be back to pretty sure. Some of them, but it's supposed to be. No, it's supposed to be. Yeah, totally. Yeah, okay. So
Where's it? Okay, everybody, if you can find your place, oh, the lights are being dim. Lots more poetry magic coming your way. I'm so glad to see, you know, people that are here for the first time. Let's give them a hand. That's really cool. And it makes me very happy when I ask them how they found out about the reading and they say Google, because I didn't do anything special. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So it's good that if you do something for almost 15 years that you're first on Google. That makes me happy, but I don't, you know, if anybody knows the wizardry stuff, you can let me know about it, but I don't know shit. So we've got some exciting stuff coming up. And our first open mic reader for the second half is Joanne Boswell.
Definitely not. Where is it?
Thank you. While I'm up here, I just have to, there's like 13 of me now. It's been since I was like a small child, we look in the mirrors and we close them in and we look at, yeah, great.
13 times infinity.
So I have a couple quick announcements. One is if you missed doing poetry readings on Zoom, which I don't, but I'm featured for a Zoom reading for Campus Library on the most Tuesday of all Tuesdays, which is 2/22/22, and a couple of Tuesdays, 6:30, and you can ask me later and I'll tell you how to register for that, so you can register. My other announcement is that I edit for a poetry magazine online. So if you have, it's a very like weird niche sort of thing, but if you have anything that is spiritual and feminist, ask me about it and I'll tell you where you can submit. Bethany has several things that are published there as well. Okay, so I recognize it's even a privilege to be house hunting, but it's also a horror to be house hunting. But people are like, oh, the market is brutal, but it has been brutal forever. It's never not been brutal unless you happen to be looking for a house right when the market crashed. That's not very many people. So anyways, I've been house hunting and it's brutal. And so I'm coping with it and I hope I don't have a full chapbook. We're getting there. But I'm writing a poem each time we lose a house. So here's the first two. 9/12 Fargo. We lived 1,000 days in our dreams upstairs next to the jetted tub.
The light dappled through trees, woke us each morning for a dozen years. We added a toilet next to the utility sink in the formerly leaky basement. The girls grew up in windowless utopias that we created to their specifications. Indoors was cramped coziness with piano and cats and bay window by the kitchen. Kid conflicts echoed down the 100-year-old hall, and twinkle lights danced deeply from within. It was a good Quaker house, just what we needed, not too much, and ample outdoor space to romp amongst the Japanese banana trees. Teenagers filled our windowed garage, plants flourished in the red-doored greenhouse, poets and musicians performed the terraced yard. So many mediocre basketball games on that long, flat driveway. When the kids moved out, it became spacious, but not too big. The grandkids discovered treasures their parents had hidden in the walls. And at the end of things, my love, we fell asleep again upstairs, surrounded in cotton contentment, and the vivid memory of that night in November when the agent called back and said the other offer fell through, that we could still have our dreams if we wanted. If we only wanted, we could have back our home. And this was written 2 months and a day later, so now I'm expecting in another about 4 weeks, I'll have another one to write. We'll see. This is called 640 Trout Court. You were a slow bird, subtle flame barely warming my hovering palm, but you flickered small enough hope for a peek. Inside, I found gentle rustic charm framing each door, picture windows shy at their glory, a little sparrow tucked by the tiniest closet. Our boy smiled big, irrepressible bliss, planning late night chats with this humble closet bird, a friend to secret share, to self-grow. Little disappointed, and I changed my mind, doubt shape-shifting into smitten, perhaps just a little, by electric fireplace, and room for a porch swing out front, by another red door to welcome the kids after school with their friends, each with space to host their best. True, the highway is grown just a stone's leap north, but from where the hammock will sway between two oaks, it sounds like sea. Quick inspiration blush floods my phone with improvement plans, lit gravel track, child-directed play structure, fire pit, cascading pond, grape arbor, chickens. So this time, against all reason, when we were chosen runners-up, grief is rolling gradually, a thick fog, pulling me under as kindly as possible.
Thank you, Joanne. And Joanne has a lovely, amazing book of poetry and photographs, also from Fernwood Press, called Cosmic Pockets. So there she is holding that up. It's really amazing. One of the things that's amazing to me about it is that a publisher on the planet agreed to publish that many photographs, but when you see the photographs, you'll understand why they're really beautiful, and they're Joanne's photographs as well. So anyway, something else you can purchase or check out. Okay, and next we are going to hear from Reid.
So this poem, okay, so I've never done anything like this before. This is the first time. So This poem is called When Mad. He wanted to end his life. It sounds so simple. To end your life is to shoot an email to God saying, I'm sending him a 2 weeks notice. You pack up your bags, you make some last amends, and you leave through the door to heaven. There's no body to worry about, no mess to clean, no broken hearts or torn souls. It's as easy as saying, I quit and you're done. For those of us who really want to end our lives, we see the reality of it. I want to kill myself. To kill myself is to buy my first gun, put the barrel to my head and shoot. There are broken hearts and torn souls and grief. So much grief I know. I want to commit suicide. To commit suicide is to research all the ways it could go wrong. Help is available. Speak to someone today. I don't care. Slit wrist, unlikely death. Hanging, painful and slow. Drowning, also painful and slow. Overdose, jump from bridge, jump from building, step in front of the speeding car, unlikely death. Painful and slow. Hold in the brain. Quick, likely to work. National Suicide Prevention, I'll call this number. I want to die. To die is to end it all. No more stress, or pain, or fear. No more worrying about the future. There is no future. Death is quiet, peaceful. Suicide is loud and messy. Available 24 hours, 800-273-8255. Shut the fuck up! Where to buy gun? How to buy gun? How old do I have to be to own a gun? Thank you. No one would tell me not to kill myself. I like to imagine how people will react. Who will come to my funeral? The songs we play. I'll be to find out who will notice, who will care. A lot of people. I know, and I'm on good terms with a lot of people. The problem is none of them know me. None of them care. When I die, they'll see me. They'll finally notice I'm so lonely. So many people are so fucking lonely in a world of population almost 8 billion. The more people there are, the less people are seen, heard, understood. My therapist doesn't take me seriously. Since I bring it up at every session, I want to kill myself. I want to kill myself. I want to kill myself. Why is so goddamn hard to kill myself? You can't get it done. Human body's too resilient for most of them at the time at work. There aren't any buildings that are designed up. I can get you all be 18 soon. I can get it done. No legal questions, no loopholes. I'll hold death in my hand. I get a background check. It's kind of as a 2 weeks notice. So yeah, I want to end my life.
Thank you. And I really hope that you'll come and do it again. Next, we're going to hear from one of our past featured readers, Igor Brezhnev. Really glad he's here again tonight. I promise I'm not going to
So 5 things. First is a question. How do you feel about leaf blowers? All right. There's a big field of disapproval. So it brings me to my second thing. I'm going to do something kind of a little crazy. Me and a friend of mine were sitting around, leaf blowers were going, and I wrote a shitty pop song ditty. All right, we're going to record it on Saturday and release it on all the platforms in a couple of weeks. Go, leaf blower, go, 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 go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can blow. Go, leaf blower, go. Leaf blowers suck. Leaf blowers blow. No, no, no. Cheers, squatter, cheers, squatter. Opera. In the morning. In the evening, anytime you blow, we don't want none. No, no, no. We don't like you. We don't want you. Go away and don't come back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Relief, lower off. Sigh of relief. Applause, jubilation. So that is the introduction, right? So sometimes poets get insane and they want to record a shitty 80s pop music song and just put it out there. It'd be funny if that's the thing that actually does it for me artistically. So that brings me to the third thing, which is an announcement. Volume 5 of Night Since, by the way, you can write a lot of poetry based on a single subject, Joanne. 11 books based on homelessness. There we go. Took 11 to get it done. Yeah. So the fifth one is coming out. It's going to be in Portland on Saturday. You can still order them. iGoVersnet.com. I got some cards. You could find it at americaisisrightcookie.com. Really much easier to remember than my name. And then I'll read 2 short poems from the fifth volume. Night 133. Temptation to walk away, to pull a loo on this foam, welch it up, rotting a mess, unscrew the bottle of Kerouac, pull it up, an enormous fuck up. My heartstrings overstretched, screech out of tune into the mic. Hear this, my somber obligations, this cacophony of I'm alive only by what I have to do. No hopes, just a stubborn refusal to give in to gears grinding human out of my ribs. Holy shoes and holy bags and some holy something sunset, and living is no more now as it was before. Wake up and try to smile. Try again. Call it a love boat. Call it temptation. Stronger. Night 134, literally reading the first 2 poems out of the book. In foolishness, a fullness of potential, unreasonable imagination of what might be or could have, and sometimes, dear friend, it is. It is. And once it is harder to dispel the fancy of midsummer's dreams and our affections long. Attractions are infested. We then are such gorgeous fools. Metal cutting sparks in our eyes, no stopping this machinery of heart, hungry arms that could embrace 100 times in span of but one day or of 1 hour, or what time fates give for our foolish bona fortune. Alas, we fools are not so lucky in this revelation. Oftentimes the reason wins the round. Fools weigh and measure. Sparks put out, and we go dream of what could have been at night, if not for reason, if not for just one word that would catch on fire and grow warmth. We fools are so fun. Thanks.
And so Igor, and I'm addicted now to Night Since, so I really hope that we figure out a way to put out all 11 volumes. I mean, they're beautiful, beautiful books. Yeah. And as you might have imagined, their existence, their continued existence depends upon us buying them. So he has the money to make more books. So, and buy the early volumes, the ones that are still available. Some are sold out, right? So
the first one sold out. Yeah, the second one almost sold out. Third and fourth are still in good shape.
Okay, and now we're going to welcome an old friend of the series, Russ. Thanks, Russ, for being here tonight.
I was walking down Main Street on my way here, just thinking about the energy that keeps us going and carries us through. Say thank you to more. And of course, the thought that comes poetically. Thank you for gestating us through a gravity time. And this to me is very gravity. A lot in myself. It's just like there's so much mountain change. There's something just grab it for me. How beautiful then, realizing when I was having the first thought, that we're gestating in the cave. I don't have anything new on my phone. Recently, kind of broke my block, but not at this point. So keep myself busy with various little techniques and things to keep the light going with the front of words. So one that stays with me a lot is this trio, and the poem hasn't been written yet. It's just fun to think about words, know the word you're using, spell it, the sound of words, just purely just the sound. So what that trio is about. Balaclava, balalaika, and baklava. So things like that, there's something for a poem. But today, I don't really watch a whole lot of news at this point. We have just the over the air, and so my news source is Parent Network, Court TV, and News. So that's an interesting perspective on what is current events. And then my partner Julie is still kind of involved with Twitter. I fell away from Twitter a while back. I'm not sure if I'll ever go back on it. But that's a weird kind of information source too. So she's not very happy with this figure, Marianne Taylor Reid or something like that. Say the name again. Marjorie Taylor Reid. And wow, she shared this just little sentence of update about Miss Green's gaffe. I just couldn't believe it. You gotta really know what you're doing. The word you're saying, in this case, I found out it was an interview. So there's a poem to be written. I was never into that violence, but I was in the punk scene a little bit. And so there's this image, very strong that came to me to illustrate knowing what word you're using in the context, especially if you have some public presence. So that poem yet to be written is about being curb stomped by a cold bowl of tomato soup. So if you didn't catch it, she made the confusion of Gestapo and gazpacho. So there's a little fun to my own. Right now, I want to share from this anthology. You mentioned my anthologies. Just have a moment and flip to a random page, and if you get into it, flip to another page. So there you go. So this is a fun collection of Black poets, edited by Dudley Randall. And so when February comes around, I think about Black History Month with this collection open. So I have a Langston Hughes poem for you from the Harvard Renaissance period. It's titled Junior Addict. The little boy who sticks a needle in his arm and seeks an out in otherworldly dreams, who seeks an out in eyes that droop and ears that close to Harlem streams, cannot know, of course, and has no way to understand
the sunrise that he cannot see, beginning in some other land, but detained, sure to flood, and soon the very room in which he leaves his needle and his spoon, the very room in which today the air is heavy with the drug of his despair. Yet little can tomorrow's sunshine give to one who will not live. Quick, sunrise come before the mushroom bomb pollutes his stinking air with better death than is his living here, with milder drugs that bring today's release and poison from the fallout of our peace. It's easier to get dope than it is to get a job. Yes, easier to get dope than to get a job. Daytime or nighttime job, teenage pre-draft, pre-lifetime job. Quick, sunrise, come, sunrise out of Africa, quick, come, sunrise, please come, come, come.
Thanks for reading that, Russ. And I want to point you toward a recording that Langston Hughes made with Charles Mingus. It's called Weird Blues. You want to look that up. And they did some really cool poetry and jazz that it's been recently reissued. So if you want to know what the reissue is called, let me know. And next, we are going to hear from Camille Gray. Very glad she's here again.
So I've been writing a lot of list poems lately, and the fun part of that is I just added one to this list while I was sitting there. Anyway, I am someone who struggles with disability, but it's not something that's immediately seen when you look at me. So this poem is called Stupid Things People Tell Me About My Body. People who don't know me say, hey, sexy, I bet you work out. This is for people with disabilities. You can't be here. You're so pretty. You're so white. This is only for men. I would love to knock you up. You're too skinny. You're too fat. Women shouldn't wear men's clothes. You shouldn't have an abortion. Faggot. You're too happy. I can't trust someone who's never gone through anything hard. I'd hit that nice ass. People who know me say, you're fine, you're not in pain. Just wait, it will get worse with age. You're too young to have back problems. You're too young to have hot flashes. You're too young to be unhealthy. I don't know where these health problems come from. Your father and I are healthy. Why aren't you? When I first met you, I thought you were a bitch. You're not depressed because you were laughing, you smile too much, and you have no reason to be depressed. You know, you're not in pain when it's something you want to do. Why does your stomach always hurt? When are you not dizzy? You know, when I was a kid, I pretended to be healthy so I could go to school. You are gaining a lot of weight. I can see it in your face, in your thighs, your stomach. I hear doctors say, it's just anxiety. I see there's anxiety in your chart, so it's probably just that. You keep coming to the doctor and it always turns out to be nothing. We can't fix this. If only we caught it sooner. There's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Why are you crying? It's good to not have all your diagnoses on your chart, or else you'd be discriminated against. But what is worse is what is unsaid. In the pauses, I understand that I am not believed or not cared about. Silence stares when I say I am in pain. Silence when I say I can't go out tonight. Silence when I say I am allergic or I can't eat that. Silence after I need help. Silence after I am suffering. Silence after I am sorry. Silence after I want to die. So I learned to follow suit. and I am also silent.
Thank you so much, Camille. We're so happy to see you again. Please keep coming and keep writing. I love list poems, but yeah. Next, we're gonna hear from Lucas Gubala. Did I say it right? Gubala? Gubala. Lucas Gubala.
Hey, Lucas, what do you do, Lucas?
Yeah, I got to work at a bookstore, my very own partner, Sarah, and it's called Birdhouse Books. It's around the corner. You should come check it out.
Buy books.
My best. That would also be.
From Birdhouse.
A quick short one. I think it's a 4 lines. Tweet, like, subscribe, said the spider to the fly, and asked her if the weaving sense of the Thank you. And I'm gonna read my mind. Let's read one of mine. Before, I would like to say, Chris, thanks for the shout out, by the way. Chris said that we should do announcements, and Birdhouse Books, Sarah and I, very funny, Tyler Wonky, we're putting together a pamphlet of written materials, poetry, connect the dots, cartoons, that's what I'm doing, written whatever. So if you're interested in contributing something to that, we're going to be putting a call to art out soon on our page, which is Birdhouse Books on Instagram. You can email us whatever you might want to be printed out at birdhousebookstore@gmail.com. It's going to be called Actual Paper. It's going to be on actual paper. I wrote this one 2 days before I came to Coast Town. First time last month. I don't know what I did. Message to my mother, who was gone when I was young, who left without a warning. You are lost, I am empty. You are free, I am chained. You are gone, I am here. You chose death, and I chose shame. I understand now how you can overcome conflicts, how you can see the higher order, how you feel the tower end, but I chose life. Dirty, fucked up life. Sins of man shoved into flesh, mashed into clay, vessels for pain molded into erotic shapes with curves to entice a god. Any what God will do as long as it's not moving. It's a new thing wants to get vibrations and steel. What God ate you? Is it the same that spat me out? Gone is the spark I needed. Out of the raging testament to you. People tell me why bother. I see the black door of the dance. Hope is nuzzled against my temple like a gun. It too needs a spark to open something different. Inspired wounds and leaves no trace of me. I learned my name at some point. I'm not going to be living. These numbers, these shapes, the difference between a thumbs up and a middle finger, grass, I'm crying to a world where everybody dies and everybody moves. When Plato is to be listened to, I remember these things. But if he isn't, then without a shadow of a doubt, I learned. Sadness comes from nowhere, and happiness follows suit. When the writing is the hardest thing in the world, it seems like the easiest. I think joke is the best way to teach. I learned that not for trying, but couldn't help but listen. The inspiration is fickle, diligence is one, the friends make bearable. It is called Blameless Times. In this book, the people who live with us. This is the copy I keep on my phone. Shameless eyes. In the bitter morning, high roses grow and the frogs celebrate victory. In the empty gloom, night nothing grows. The night nods and belches, and victory is celebrated only by indecent ladies with spread legs and brainless eyes. At noon, say at noon, something happens. The signal changes, the traffic moves through. Life itself is not a miracle. The pain should be so constant. That's the miracle. And you can't even scream or weep, and it sits all over you. Morning, night, and noon. The traffic moves through, and murder, treachery of lovers and friends of all the people. Pain is the joy of knowing the truth that arrives with that moment. Life is being born. Death is being born. Even the fools mourn next. Folks, come on. All right, say something.
It is around the corner.
It's around the corner. It's awesome. I just went in there for the first time for Dan Raphael reading and walked out of there, spent way too much money, but I'm anytime I go in there, I know, but it's inevitable. Walk out with 4 new books of poetry, and thank you guys for carrying. You can find my chapbook there as well. So they love carrying local poets. If you have a book, bring it in. They would love to sell it. Yeah, so thank you guys so much. Thank you. It's exactly what downtown Vancouver needed. So. All right, next we're gonna hear from Jared Klein. Jared, welcome on up.
I'm Derek. This is my book. The 37th day. The 37th day ought to be important. Over a month, and so close to 40 days. Whatever has persisted for so long is somewhere between being Gregorian and biblical. And 37 has some. And then all called titles or titles in the self-help section. Mothers and the sons who lead them, or sons and the mothers that hate. Powerful. Leave me, save me, or save me, leave me, to depict the conflict inside. God left me in a basket on her doorstep, or God left, and I cannot remember. Once I knew, I did not trust me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And what's your book's name? Do you have book copies tonight?
It is called Passion Murder.
House Martyrs. Actually, I think I picked that up. I've heard House Martyrs actually. House Martyrs. I think that was a recommendation from Chris too. So. Next, we're going to hear from our Zoom reader, John Miller. John, yeah.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Christopher Luna. Thank you and thank you to Art at the Cave for hosting us literally and virtually. I have 3 poems. The first is a short one. I guess dedicated to anyone who ever has a rough morning. This is called One Perfect Sunrise, written at Becca's Sunday Salons. One perfect sunrise.
Wait,
I did mute myself, sorry. One perfect sunrise. Through the wide window, it is briefly radical. Even crumbs on the counter wear long shadows, as if they slept fitfully, stubbornly, spent hours building their stretched columns they push against the morning light. They won't win, or where they are last the noon. Blink, step. This small house is such a wide avenue. Turn that over on my tongue. Over, think. This is a moment. It can change. And I am here awake with it. I will pass through it. The second poem is a work in progress. I wrote it actually just this past Monday at Christopher Luna's The Work Salon. And a lot of my poems are about relationships and kind of their imperfections. So this is called Greedy Dog. All you wanted was her, all for yourself. It was the 4th of July. You dropped 70 on the train and ferry ticket bundle, Brooklyn to Sayville, then to the Fire Island shore. Then the news of a phone call, a fait accompli of a suicide. He was her good friend's father, and you wished you were more interested. It was the 4th of July. At most, there was Sunday between a decision to go and another work week. Bless her, she soldiered on. The beach crowd and the LIRR are sprint to the ferry because, hey, it's New York. For more than the next decade, you would each learn nothing was easy, though nothing was broken. The dock, the diesel, the Long Island Sound and Marina, boats like the one named Two Sals and the Gals, the requisite Boers Bud Lighting on them. But also the gentle leeward faces of Watch Hill dunes, diminutive beach deer, large green beach flies, a picnic of cold fried chicken, apples and Jarlsberg sliced with your Swiss Army knife, then a long barefoot walk in the sand, hand in hand into the high afternoon sun, along the pounding Atlantic, actually blue. Later, back on the dock, you exhausted each other was one thing you learned instead of loss, and you found that fascinating. The third poem I'll read is from my forthcoming chapbook to be published this year by the Poetry Box called Olympic. It's a collection of poems from Greek myth that I actually drafted at Becca's Tuesday salons. And I shout her out only because the way she conducts her salons, I mean, you get published work out of this, and there is now no shortage of published poets who join these sessions. So this one that I've selected out of the chapbook is called The Wedding of Perseus and Andromeda. And I have an epigraph from Robert Graves. In the ensuing fight, Perseus struck down many of his opponents, but being greatly outnumbered, he was forced to snatch the Gorgon's head from its bed of coral and turn the remaining 200 of them to stone. All at once, the wedding party froze. 200 caught in every shove, punch, rush toward or away this wreck of a ceremony. cups finished falling and shattering, tables splitting and splintering, sounds trailing to turn strange and single. The air stayed rank with wine and live hot breath, but bodies and faces turned to nothing as mountainside. Even when broken, you warned me last night, the chains are still there. You are calm and holding the dead snaked head in my hand. You say these are just men. You have entreated with gods for the power of this moment. Your winged sandals, the prize of the Gorgon. You say you live as proof. I look over to the granite of my mother and father. Why couldn't you leave well enough alone, I ask? You both had your plans. You even left me for the sea, but then I met this husband of happenstance. Now you both will be thrown to the stars, and there's nothing I can do to change the resulting unkindness. My husband and I turn to leave. I ask that before we fly, we walk slowly. The first hour of marriage is this now quiet field. A breeze winds its way through the new statuary. The sun starts its daily work of shadow. I can see grass already sprouting at the foot of them. The later years to make this place nowhere. Forgive me, I say to him. It may be too long before I feel. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, John. Really good to have so many Zoom readers zooming in. Becca, hi, it's good to see you too. It's really great to have everybody here. And thanks again to Catcher and Art of the Cave for hosting and for, making sure this all runs seamlessly. Next, we're going to hear from Ellis. Ellis, welcome up. Welcome.
Step up to the mic. The human mind should be this scary to you. You get lost in the spiral of endless thoughts into the hidden tracks of your brain. Not knowing if you can stand tomorrow will be somewhere for you. Your mind is not part of you, but rather part of an alternate reality that you get trapped in. You're not in control. You control something that others do not see or believe in. They call you insane as you fight the war against your own self. You're raised to believe that emotions like this help you even, but as time goes on, they're no longer considered a symbol of strength rather than mental weakness. You hide them in attempt to show resilience to be and it works, but not in the way you expected. They begin to think you can take anything and everything. The things that start to flow out of their mouths are like a stream of put-downs that are drowning by the second. But this waterfall of judgment is secretly making any resilience you have up inside somewhere. Everywhere, pushing you closer to the edge. At this point, the big smile is being onto your face by the artist who also touches the air. Your feet are stuck in a bit of what seems like an endless tunnel, and then reaching to your knees, begging you to give up, but you don't. You round the dark corner of the tunnel that seems to be never ending. You see a light, not bigger than a few degrees of light. The only thing standing between you and that light is watching that facing the dark inside. You fight, the circle of light giving you all the hope you need. It's hard, exhausting, even scary and resistant. But you fight. You fight until you have nothing left. But once you claw your way out of that hole, the light should be brighter than before. In fact, it is not a light to add simply to the show. It is an abundant landscape with the sky seeming to glow like the stars are complete there. You realize that the tunnel is so far behind that the memories are different, but not completely forgotten. Survivors of their own minds are there to guide you through such a pathway of growth, making it a little less disastrous. For over time, as you overcome all of the fear and fear, you yourself and help others believe that. You yourself and help others to believe that the mind is truly the scariest thing.
Thank you so much, Ellis. It was Beautiful. And I hope that you return. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. It's really, really awesome to be part of the series for so long and see so many new faces still showing up. And just like, thank you all for being here. Thanks to Bethany Lee and our feature, right? But also just thanks for, everybody showing up. I don't even know why I'm nervous right now. I've gotten up so many times. I'm like, why do I get nervous? I don't know. Why the fuck do we all get nervous, even though, it's this thing that we do, that we love doing, that makes me feel alive, that makes us feel alive when we share what we go through. I would like to share a little bit by somebody who I really respect, Rob Resney. He's an astrologer and somebody who wrote a book that I fucking love called Pronoia. And it's how the universe is conspiring to help us out, right? And I follow, I get his newsletters and I follow him on social media and I just love his work. So I'd like to share a little something and then I'll introduce Christopher. Thousands of things go right for you every day, beginning the moment you wake up. Through some hocus pocus you don't fully understand, you are still breathing and your heart is beating, even though you've been unconscious for many hours. The air is a mix of gases that's just right for your body's needs, as it was before you fell asleep. You can see light of many colors and shapes flood into your eyes, registered and transmitted to your brain by a complex web of neurons that took goddess or evolution billions of years to perfect. The interesting gift of these vivid colors and shapes is made possibly by an unimaginably immense globe of fire, the sun, which ceaselessly detonates nuclear explosions in order to convert its own body into light and heat and energy for your personal use. You can raise a glass of water to your lips. You can button your shirt. You can wash your hair and beat on a drum and draw infinity signs on a piece of paper. Your hands work wonderfully well. Your heart circulates your blood all the way out to replenish the energy of the muscles and nerves in your fingers and palms and wrists. And after your blood has delivered its blessings, it finds its way back to your heart to be refreshed. This astonishing mystery recurs over and over again without stopping every minute of your life. Language is another stupendous marvel. Millions of souls have cooperated intricately for untold centuries to cultivate a system of communication that you understand very well. Your ability to speak and read and write makes you feel strong and dynamic. It provides you with a crucial resource to make sense of the riotous cavalcade that always surrounds you. It enables you to indulge in one of your favorite pleasures, which is to hear and tell stories. Of the millions of things that have gone right for you during your time on Earth, the first was your birth. It was a difficult miracle that involved many people who worked very hard on your behalf. No less amazing is the fact that you have continued to bloom ever since then, with new cells being born within you all the time to replace the old cells that are dying. At this very moment, there are 50 trillion cells in your body, and each of them is really a sentient being in its own right. They all act together as a community, consecrating you with their breathtaking collaboration. It's just like magic. Thank you. God bless you. Christopher Luna to finish us out. He loves closing the house, and thank you. Kind of a tradition to have Chris close us out here. You used to open up with a poem actually too, but.
We did. We could do that again. We could do what we wish. In the arts, because we get to do whatever the fuck we want. Wish on poetry, this is because if you wish to, you can start an open mic where people will be invited to do whatever the fuck they want. Now I was gonna look at Ian and he's gone. He wanted to leave. That's okay. Don't judge me. Oh, boy. Because we all are nervous before we do it, while I'm pushing through that, I want to say thank you to John and others who during those kind of mentioned these workshops I do. So I do 3 drop-in workshops. They're called The Work. That expression comes from Allen Ginsberg. So if you look at printedmattervancouver.com, you can find the dates through July. That's as far as I was willing to go. And for the time being, they're all on Zoom. I look forward to a time soon when I can start rearranging things and doing them in person again. So the next one of those is Saturday, 11:30 to 2. They do 2 Mondays a month, and the next one of those will be February 21st. If you'd like to join us, so just send me an email or you go to the website and so you have to do that. Aborted Booster Blues with backing vocals by the Whiny Bitches. I don't want to fucking die. I know it's inevitable, but I don't want to. That's gonna be a fucking drag. I'll fight it as fucking long as I can. Dave Grohl, interviewed by Brian Hyde for Rolling Stone. Online, or is it in line, for a booster shot at Kaiser Cascade Park? Catching occasional fragments of conversation. Sharks, Britain, stage 4. I don't know if my marriage can handle that, obviously. Little unicorns and butterflies skip merrily down 2 long hallways carrying tiny backpacks. We don't wear masks at my school. We don't want to. She sends me with them, but I don't do them. Occasional coughing and sneezing, always explosive. Does it make you feel peaceful? Tried real hard, couldn't do it. Adored. Still hot at 40, that's a thing. Surrounded by whiny bitches. No one in the Northwest believes that they should ever have to wait for anything. Entitled, petulant pussies who complain incessantly about the inconvenience of protecting themselves and their families from death. Did you see the size of that needle? Didn't even flinch. Are you guys ready? Pfizer vaccines. Black goddess in blue scrubs and face shield, perfect skin, perfect nails, perfect lip gloss, perfect hair, voice of an angel. Informs me that for Johnson & Johnson people like me, your second shot is your booster. Dejected, disappointed, relieved, I leave. No booster for me today. Years before I actually lived in the Northwest, I had a friend who moved out here to live with her boyfriend, who was at the University of Oregon. And that was when I first learned, this was sometime in the 90s, that in Oregon and hereabouts, people actually think it's okay to just go right up to the front of any line and expect to be served before all those other people are waiting before you got there. Where my friend and I are from, that's a good way to get hurt. This is something quite different, I think. Rolling Thunder rebuys for Robert Zimmerman and Thich Nhat Hanh. If someone's wearing a mask, he's going to tell you the truth. If he's not wearing a mask, it's highly unlikely. Bob Dylan to Martin Scorsese in Rolling Thunder review of Bob Dylan's story. By the way, how's my beard? That reminded me that I meant to like fix my beard, because as Jim and Russ and Igor can tell you, the masks, we work on these beards and the masks are the It's cracking me up. If someone's wearing a mask, he's going to tell you the truth. If he's not wearing a mask, it's highly unlikely. That's what Bob Dylan said. We must learn to release ourselves from our certainty regarding our superiority. Rejoin the human race, begin finally to take responsibility for our portion of the destruction, while also acknowledging the endless stream of this boundless love. I reside inside the mask I put on. Will always show, will never show what's covered. You don't want to know the guy behind this porcelain. He's not always as kind as the smile implies. Always, thank you. Always the right choice and the wrong decision entangled the lover's embrace. Place the mask over your face. Tell us the real truth now. Can't believe how fat I am. There's no excuse for it, none at all. What exactly are you hiding behind the expanse of that belly? What pain lies buried beneath that girth? From what or whom does all that fat protect you? Some of you know that I've been at this for a long time, and I'm in a position, it's a really wonderful place to be, of encouraging people, of helping people to generate new work. And so you're constantly telling them, whatever that thing is that makes you the most uncomfortable, that's the thing you need to write about. And I also tell them that there's a self-interested reason why it's a good thing to do also. And that is that you'll get better material. So if you care about writing something that's good, the good material is always in those things that make you personally uncomfortable. Whether they make other people uncomfortable is another matter. So I've been at this for a few decades now, and I've revealed all kinds of things and not revealed things in poems. And I haven't really written about that. So it's about time to talk about how I feel about how so I practice at open mics, mine and other people's, reading things that are new and things that are untested. So I thank you for being a place at the place, one of the places that I can do that and feel safe to do it. And I hope that you felt safe this evening. I get the feeling that you did, including those folks doing it for the first time. Everybody needs and wants to be heard and seen, and that is what will happen here. You will get a lot of love, no matter who you are, no matter how long you've been doing it. Even if you want to read a poem by someone else, poetry is an oral tradition. We want to hear those too. So tell your friends who don't write but love poetry to bring whatever they're reading. We read it here. We've always allowed them. We've always allowed translations. We want to hear poems in other languages. With poetry, we want to hear. Thank you, Bethany, for your beautiful poetry and for doing this with us. And thank you, Kathy, for making it happen and for helping out with the Zoomers. Thank you, Zoomers. Yeah, and thank you, Art Paige and Morgan. Thanks so much for everybody for your beautiful words and your energy. And we'll see you on the second Thursday of March.